Okay, welcome back. Thanks for being here. On our 60-in-1s with our cabinet, we're going to have to prep it before we can do anything to it. So, as you can see, we're starting out. We got a monitor in there, buttons, wiring harness, power supply, all that stuff. We need to take all of that out, every bit of it. We're going to end up with an empty wooden cabinet just like this. No monitor, no buttons, nothing in our way. We'll wipe that out, clean it up, and we'll have a clean slate to work with. I do leave the speaker in there because it gets used. So, some people may not have the budget. And let me say, there's nothing wrong with building a 60-in-1 in that machine as it sits and looks. But myself, I'm not a big fan of this black wood grain, so we're going to paint the cabinets black. And this T-molding that you'd see normally, we're going to replace that with something a little bit nicer and see what kind of look we can get going on. So our first step in these cabinets, getting them cleaned up, is going to be these old stickers, the tax stickers. They always say void underneath, and that stuff sticks. They were not made to be removed. So I take one of my favorite products, WD-40. We're going to soak them stickers down. And this WD-40 will sit on there. And I'll be able to take a razor blade and that will scrape right off without really damaging anything underneath. So we'll let that soak for a while and we'll be back. Okay, and next we're going to, once we've got everything stripped out of them, down to bare wood, we're going to modify our control panel. You'll need a few tools for that. You'll need a drill of some sort. It could be cordless or corded. Either one will work fine. You're going to need a 1 1/8 hole saw for your buttons. You're going to need a 1 1/4 hole saw for your joystick. I'd like to note that if you happen to have a thin control panel, like a metal one, the 1 1/8 will work fine for the joystick, but on a thicker control panel, you really need that 1 1/4. And I also like to keep a small bit on hand to drill my pilot holes, like here for my 1 and 2 player start buttons, so that I'm not jumping all over the place with this big old bit here. It gives me a nice easy start, keeps it where it's supposed to be. Then once we get them drilled out, you'll notice this hole's significantly smaller. The buttons that were in it were 1 inch. So we have a hole here for our joystick that we've enlarged to 1 1/4. And we have 3 more holes we've enlarged to 1 1/8. And 2 more over here for our start buttons at 1 1/8. Next, we're going to get some Bondo, just like you'd use on a car. We're going to cover the backs of these 2 holes that we don't need, and we're going to fill that up with Bondo. We're also going to fill these small holes that you see on either side of the holes that are already there. And we'll get it all smoothed off, sanded, and we'll be back with the next step. Okay, before we sand the control panels, I just wanted to jump back in here and show you where those ugly stickers were. That's all gone. WD-40 helped me clean that right up. I scraped it off with a razor blade and then came in with WD-40 and a magic eraser up here on top, perfectly clean and smooth. And the same over here on this one. You can't feel any residue. You can't see any reflection of that void on the sticker. And then on the control panels, here's the Bondo I was talking about. You can buy it at Walmart or any auto parts store. I put something behind the holes there, filled them with Bondo, went over the small holes here that were next to each hole. And I also hit any other blemishes on the cabinets, like in the front. You know, there were imperfections. They're older cabinets. I had the Bondo already mixed up. And I'm going to be sanding, so may as well do it. So we'll get some sanded, and I'll be right back with you. All right, and we're back again. So I just wanted to update you here. You'll see on our control panel, we got that nice and smooth. You can't even feel that. You may see a little bit whenever we paint it, but it's filled. It's smooth. The holes are smooth. Everything's going to look just great. We're ready to paint, and we've already gotten started painting. What I like to do is take this primer and paint in the gloss. And I hit the parts that are hard to paint, like your corners and these edges here. Stuff that's going to be just obnoxious with your roller. I'll hit it with spray paint, take care of it. Then I come along with my roller. They recommend using a sprayer to spray on the smoothest finish that you can get, but I don't have a paint sprayer and I'm not a trained painter, so I use this. It's really thick, it's high gloss, and it goes on nice and clean, gives you a nice reflective surface, nice and smooth. We're getting ready to do the second coat on them, and once you're done, it's reflective almost. It's almost like mirror. But just wanted to update you where we're at and what we're doing. Be back with the next step, which will be putting our game together. So we'll take that step by step. Right now, you'll see what we have here is an empty wooden cabinet, painted and ready to go. Nice and clean slate inside, so that we're starting fresh. So be sure to join us for the next episode, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'd sure appreciate that. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.